Okay, today... Why did it freeze? Okay. That's kind of loud, but I guess we'll just go with it. Today we're gonna play a game called Drowning. Now, Drowning is in the genre of walking simulator, which is not a genre I delved into. I have never played like Gone Home or the something of Ethan. Yeah, I have never played those games. I've heard things about them, various things, interesting things. Even the positive things, I'm like, yeah, that's not my genre, you know? Not really what I'm looking for. I was like, I may as well give it a chance. I've been surprised by myself in the past. May as well try it again. So this is a game called Drowning. I don't know on the scale of walking simulators. I think I own like most of them via the Humble Bundles, other stuff. But I just picked this one because it just came out on the Switch, and I was like, let's try it out. So we're gonna try it out. A new game. Year 8. I think this is like... Is this us? Are we walking? Oh, okay. Ooh, you know what? Something I've not felt in a long time is first-person controls. I still remember the day we first met. Ugh. A first-person controls with a controller? That's not the T. I was in year 8 and you had no friends. This feels familiar. Year 8 meaning in school, so like well, like, what would that be? Would that be 6th grade? I forget how they work over there. Let's see. While I was alone, you came and sat next to me. Though you never said anything. This is very familiar sounding. I hardly recognized you were there. That's how I preferred. I don't want anyone to know I'm there at any point. You were quiet like me. Stay quiet. Every time I was alone, you would come and visit. But you wouldn't say anything. That's how I prefer. Thank you for doing that. I thought that was a rubber ducky, but it was the tree. The leaves on the tree. Weeks went by. And you still wouldn't talk to me. Well, it's not that they wouldn't talk, it's just you were waiting for them to engage. And they... yeah. So I ignored you. Well, if you wanted to talk, you could have started the conversation, but that was your own fault. And you left me alone. Is that... again, sounds like a good deal to me. It wasn't long after you left until the holiday started. And my family decided to go overseas. Okay, one thing I want to talk about. Whenever I hear like people from other countries talk about holidays, they literally mean, oh, they leave. They leave the country and go to somewhere cool. Yeah, we don't do that here. No one that I have ever known was like, oh, it's the holiday break, we're gonna go somewhere. No one I ever knew in real life ever had that kind of experience. We all were just like, we're gonna be home for the next 2.5 weeks, however long the holiday break is. It was my first time on a plane, so I was kind of nervous. I eventually overcame my fear. I mean, you kind of had to. Like, that's not a fear you're capable of having, because you just have to deal with it because it's gonna happen when you get on a plane. You don't realize you have a fear of flying until you're about to board a plane, and then you're like, I can't really afford to be scared right now. While we were overseas, one thing I want to check. Can you? No, okay. I was checking if you can walk off the path. We mainly did stuff with our family. It was a lot of fun. Cute. Glad you had a good time. I didn't think life could get any better. And definitely not worse. Okay, that's where your naivety comes in, because I've constantly been aware that everything could go worse at any minute. As much as I didn't want to leave, we had to leave. But all good things must come to an end. A great song, underrated song by Nelly Furtado. Really underrated. I love that song, one of my favorites. It's 5 minutes long, but it's worth it. That was a great Nelly Furtado song. It's not one of her most well-known ones, but you definitely need to check it out. It is from the album that Promiscuous is on. I don't know. I always forget that one because I have her greatest hits, and that's where mainly those singles are from that I listen to. We ride home on the last day of the holidays. I always hate that when you come home and it's the last day. Like we did, like we will leave and visit grandma, but like when you come home and then like next day you have to go to school, it's like, come on now. Like why? Like, we've been at Abuelita's house all fucking weekend, and I have to just get home and then we have to go to school. It's like, I need time to unwind within the environment that I am used to. Life was good. But then school started. That's the worst. I hated school so much. That's why I stopped going. I think by the time I was a junior, I was going maybe twice a week to school. And you were there. But you were different. That was me. I was always different. When I came back, you seemed more confident. Oh, that's the opposite, though. That's the opposite of what it was. I was not more confident at any point in school. But no one liked you. Whoa. That's fucked up. Like, liked you like they all hated or just didn't think of you? I didn't understand why. Is that supposed to be a waterfall? Why couldn't there be a moving texture there? You seemed fine to me. So we became friends. I mean, it's kind of looking like a red flag if everyone else around you sees something that you don't. But maybe you're the better person for seeing something that they don't see. Every day you opened up a little more. And you started talking to me. We became close. Later that week, I told another friend about you. He warned me that you were dangerous. Dangerous how? But I didn't see how. So I ignored what he said. I mean, you shouldn't ignore when people say that, but you should try to understand why. Why do people think this? After all, he barely knew you. That's also true. They don't know them. So you need to try to see the reasoning. Soon after, we became friends. You started telling me strange things. I'm not feeling good stuff about this. You told me one of my good friends didn't want me as their friend anymore. It made no sense. Yeah. So I just ignored you, hoping you would leave me alone. But you never did. Okay, so when he said ignored, like he ignored the question, or did he ignore the person? Because that's still shitty, even though the guy did something shitty too, assuming you kept going. Telling me the same thing over and over again. And you got louder. I started to believe what you were saying. I didn't know what to do. How about talk about it? A lot of things could be resolved if people had conversations. And I definitely the last person to be talking about this, being the literally embodiment of antisocial behavior. But still, just have a conversation with someone about something if you think that's the case. I decided the best thing to do was to let you keep going. And pretend I didn't care. It took a while. But you eventually became a voice at the back of my head. That is fucked up. But I couldn't forget what you said. It's like your voice was stuck on an endless loop. And I believed every word. You convinced me. That my friend didn't need me. Well, I don't think he did need you, you know. I was better off without me. Now there's a difference. See, someone may not need you, but that doesn't mean they're better off without you. To enjoy your company, that's different. So naturally, distance myself from him. Okay. That was your mistake. Thinking that was my only option. Really not your only option, and you came up to that conclusion on your own accord, and not because of something someone else said. Because how do you make someone like you that truly hates you? Whenever he would start a conversation, I would purposely seem uninterested. So he would talk to somebody else. Again, you came up with this on your own accord. You could have had a conversation about what was happening. Somebody he really wants to talk to. It looked like I was being rude. You were being rude, regardless of how, you know, you felt on the inside. You were being rude. But I was really doing him a favor. Sorry, that's not how it works. You were being rude. I say that the embarrassment of having to talk to me in front of others. And I saved in the effort of being nice and pretending to care. You... Okay, let's see where this goes. Oh. Okay, that was all of year 8. Okay, year 9, that was very... All of a sudden it just stopped. I was happy for school to start so I could see my friends. I didn't like... You didn't like seeing me like this, so you disappeared. I never really understood why you kept coming and going. But I was glad you were gone. Let me check something real quick. What is... Okay, so it's 8th grade. So year 8 is 7th grade, year 9 is 8th grade. Okay, so 8th grade. Still in US standards middle school. Just so I get my age range correct. It wasn't until now that I realized I enjoy life a lot more when you weren't around. Now that's the tea. When you realize that someone is better, that your life is better without them around. Do this with social media, y'all. Go online, like just mute someone for a week and just see if you like enjoy your life a bit better. And if you do, get rid of them. That's all you need to do. So I became scared of you. Okay, now you don't need to be scared of anyone. I don't know what that thing is. So again, you're coming to conclusions on your own accord. And I began to hate school. I relate, but not for that reason. I mean, I always hated school. I hated school when I was in, like, pre-K. Because I didn't want to be friends with you anymore. Then tell them. But I tried my best not to worry too much. No, you didn't. You did not try your best. You just kept on going. And continue worrying. Because I knew you loved seeing me like this. Just tell them I don't like you and then leave. School was great at first. It was never good. I always hated school. I got to hang out with friends I hadn't seen in a while. that was good. You know, for the very few friends I had at school, the first few weeks were fine because I got to see people I hadn't seen. But then once the monotony happened, I was over it. And I even spoke to one of the new students, who soon after became one of my closest friends. I was never like that with new students. I was just a wallflower, but a very noticeable wallflower. But then you came along. Oh, but then you, for some reason I thought it was they. And you destroyed the fun I was having. You told me to stop speaking to people who don't like me. Because all I'm doing are making more people hate me. I thought the best thing to do was ignore you. No, the best thing to do was cut this person off. Tell them I don't want to talk to you. So that's what I did. These trees are moving like a lot. That one is like, this one right there in the middle is really moving. Not long after, I was walking down the school hallway. Can I go up this hill? Nope. That would be cool to have a cool vantage point. And I saw the new guy standing up, or standing with a group of people. So I said hi. But he ignored me. It was kind of like he was embarrassed to know me. There's an E missing. There's probably been quite a few typos. Even though we were good friends. We at least, well, at least I thought we were. That night, when trying to fall asleep, the thought of the new guy kept crossing my mind. I just couldn't figure out what I did. Ask a question. And all you were doing was telling me how you were right all along. Ask the person what happened and how I should have listened to you. How about you ask the new guy, like, what the fuck happened? I didn't even understand why it was bothering me so much. Because you thought you had a friend, and then you're like, do I still have that friend? And that's not an easy thing to go through, but all I knew is that I was losing sleep over something that probably doesn't even matter. In the end, it doesn't really fucking matter, because most people don't talk to the people in school anymore. But still, so much could have been cleared up with just having a conversation. Walking in the middle of the night, waking up in the middle of the night became normal. I mean, I didn't even sleep. It was so normal to me to go to school with like zero sleep. And my friends noticed I looked more tired than I usually did. So they asked if everything was okay. But you said to remember what you told me. And be careful what I say to them. So I told them I was fine. I mean, you would have said that regardless of what happened. Even though I was far from it. Even without the other person's words in your mouth, in your mind, you would have said that. Telling no one about you was hard. I did not need to tell you. I really wanted to. But you wouldn't let me. You'd keep reminding me of how I've already made other people hate me. I didn't know what to do. I mean, tell people anyways. You wouldn't leave me alone. You knew I was scared of you. Scared of what? Scared of what? Particularly why? It made you happy. What were you scared of? Physically? What was the thing? I need to know. Is this the path? That's a long path. It was only a matter of time before you would leave me alone. I don't know how you came up with that either. So I tried to learn how to control my emotions. What? I was getting quite good at it. At controlling your emotions? No, you weren't. As showing your emotions, that's different. And it seemed to make you angry. That I could feel happiness. I thought I'd finally find a way to remove you from my life. How about you just tell the person I don't want to talk to you? I'm not getting a reasoning as to why. And I didn't need to worry about you coming back. Wait a minute. This is not a person. Is it? Is this a person? I don't think this is a person. This isn't a person. I just got it. Or is it? They said it was a person. It's a person. My parents told me they were getting a divorce. Oh, that's shitty. My parents should have gotten a divorce. Oh, no, I shouldn't bring that up. They definitely should have. They really should have. Like, they really should have. Is this the end? We're going grade 10? Or year 10? Year 10, grade 9? Now you a freshman in high school? Shit, that's the worst. That's when shit really started going downhill for me. Freshman in high school, that was it. That was bad. Hello, that waterfall is still very much stagnant. After my parents separated, you kept telling me it was my fault. Damn, that's fucked. With no one telling me otherwise, it was hard not to listen to you. No one told you it wasn't your fault, even your own parents? That's like the very first thing I've ever heard. Oops, I just hit a button. That's the very first thing I've ever heard about anyone's divorce, is that the first thing the parents say is, it's not your fault. You said not to tell anyone what happened. About the divorce? I mean, I probably wouldn't tell anyone either. Because no one wants to hear or know anything about me or my miserable life. I mean, I'm not doubtful of that. So I kept everything to myself. I wish there was a sprint button. Even though I desperately want to tell somebody. When I tried to sleep, you keep reminding me of all the things I could have done to stop this from happening. This is definitely not a person. Then what the fuck was at the beginning? They sat alone, and then they were there. I don't know, I don't care anymore. Since he wouldn't let me sleep, I would distract myself by playing video games. I didn't even distract myself by playing video games in high school. I was more about just listening to music and then feeling sad. That's how I got through shit. I didn't get through it. That was the shit that I was having there. But they weren't as fun as they used to be. Video games became better to me as I grew older, to be quite honest. They felt more like a task or assignment rather than a relaxation activity. That's relatable, but I still have more fun with them now than I ever did before. I mean, now I'm like, I shouldn't play a video game unless I'm streaming it. It took way more effort than it used to. Why? Maybe you just play different games. But it was the only way to feel like life wasn't that bad. Just for a moment. It wasn't the only way, it's still just the one thing you had. Year 11, okay, that was fine. Just went through very much insomnia in year 12. I mean year 10. I found myself getting irritated with everything. Also, you just have to also realize, you was a teenager then. Shit was gonna be irritating regardless. Everybody annoyed me. That's how we all felt. Everything was fucking annoying. I dropped out of high school. It was impossible to calm down and relax. It's still impossible for me. But I wasn't angry at everyone. Were you angry at yourself? I'd feel empty and numb. I mean, current state of feeling. Like a black hole sucking in anything that made me feel emotion. I was wearing a heavy suit of armor. It's so foggy. And every movement took a tremendous amount of effort and was completely exhausting. Still feel this way. No matter how hard I tried, I was unable to take it off. It was as loud as it was heavy. I felt like I annoyed anyone who walked past me. It was like I needed to apologize to anyone who dealt with my presence. It was like everyone was annoyed at me and I was letting everyone down. My body felt like I was constantly coming down with the flu. Same, but I am always constantly coming down with the flu, and that's a big problem. I get headaches and feel nauseous. That's not really the flu to me, but okay. I was always in physical discomfort. Same. Whether I was at school, out with my family, or at a friend's place, I never felt comfortable. I wanted to stay in my room all day and stop pretending like everything was alright. And I hated socializing. I still do. I would avoid social situations like the plague. How many times am I going to say same? I never answered my phone or doorbell, and I declined almost every party invitation. You got party invitations? Because every person I avoided was somebody's day not ruined. My fingers are getting tired from holding up. Ooh, it's fucking dark. I don't like this. Actually, it's harder to see on my TV than it is on OBS. I am in the middle of a vast ocean. And I can't keep my head above water anymore. It's so dark. I'm nearly out of breath. No one is going to help me. Every time I swim to the surface and gasp for air. I sink down to the very bottom. Again. And again. And again. On my TV screen is like pretty much pitch black besides the letters. I have lost all hope. And I don't know what to do. What are you doing? I'm ending everything. Again, very dark, hard to see. I can kind of see. I can at least see the trees. Why? Because there's nothing left for me in this world. What about your friends and family? What about the people you love and respect? What I'm doing them a favor. No, you're not. You're going to hurt them. You're about to put them through a great amount of pain you never experienced. Is that what you want? You don't know what pain is? You're the reason I'm doing this in the first place. You show up out of nowhere. You put thoughts in my head. And you tell me things that aren't true. And I can't take it anymore. I'm doing this for me and no one else. Because I'm tired of being in a place I don't belong. Oh, there's actually something there. I haven't seen a thing before. Okay, now it's alright. That was very hard to go from that darkness to this brightness. You got it all wrong. You did this to me. You drove me to the point of insanity. You're a demon. That's where you're wrong. This whole time, I've been trying to help you. Help you to come to terms with yourself. I came to you because I saw you doubting yourself, and it seems as though others were doubting you as well. And it hurt me. I didn't want to see you like that anymore. So I tried showing you a different way of viewing the world. I still have no idea what this is trying to tell me. And I tried to help you embrace your uniqueness. And show you that there is nothing wrong with being different from everyone else. But no matter how much I told you, you wouldn't listen. You let the thoughts of yourself and others get to you. And you confuse those thoughts with me. I didn't know what to do. I really want to tell someone. But I didn't want anyone to think differently of me. And they all say the same thing anyway. They would say I need to get help. They would say that because they care about you. And they didn't know what great amount of pain you're dealing with. I didn't know what to do. I thought the best thing to do for everyone and everything else and everyone else was to end everything. And that just resulted in hurting the people that love you. I only want to know what it felt like to feel again. To be happy. And to be loved. Then go back. Seek help. And learn to love again. I thought this said added another word, but no. Just like you used to. Okay. So that was a full game. I don't know if there's different endings. I don't know how that would actually go around being done, considering it's basic. It's pretty linear. There's not really much you can do with it. Assuming that's the only thing there. This game... Okay. I want to be sensitive to it because of the subject matter. But at the same time... I mean... Depression, very relatable. I mean, I feel it, I understand it, I have it. What I feel and what this person feels are completely different. Never experienced what they had to experience. Things they found negatives in their life, I'm quite fine with. Mine manifest in different ways because of what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. I don't think it was the best written. That's the easiest way. Not the best written. Not that it was like... It was clearly trying to figure out with, oh, this was a straight up person for a good while, and then it wasn't a person. I was like, oh, it's not a person. This is the depression talking. Even though they made it seem like a person. It was clearly a person at one point, and then they dropped the person angle. But sure. Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend this one. I don't think it's necessary. I do find walking sims to be an interesting storytelling device. At least if most of them correlate with something like this. That's how I feel about it. I don't really have any more interest to play other ones currently. I doubt this is a top tier one. I doubt this one is more interesting than, you know, the ones that get very, very big publication. Let me actually go to the... I'll go on the Steam site and see what people think about this game. Read some reviews and such, because I am interested to see what others felt about this game. Oh, I see. OBS is blocking it. Fuck. Let's not even deal with Steam. Let's just go here. Okay, drowning, steam powered. It's a $3 game. Let's see. Walking the shores of a teenage boy who learns to live with his inner demon. Drowning is a short game about a boy who quickly discovers he has depression in his earlier years of high school. Walk through a variety of beautiful low-poly environments as the story unfolds about how he deals with depression. I don't think we actually learn how he deals with depression. Depression gets him, and then it doesn't. You will play in the eyes of a young boy starting out in year 7, play through his following years, where he learns that living with depression is like living with someone trying to put you down all the time. That's, you know, accurate. Walk through the beautiful environment, lovely soundtrack that suits the current mood of the game, and find all the hidden endings. There are different endings. How you achieve those, I have no idea. Because I truly don't understand how to change anything about the game. The only way I can think of is if you walk around the cabin and walk around the gate. Those are the only things that I can think about how the story will change. But at the same time, let me, if I hit continue, what exactly happens? Year 8. Yeah. Year 8. Do they add a sprint? I think A is a sprint. Is this a sprint? Am I going faster with holding A? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's in my head or not. If it is, it's not quick enough where I'm like, oh, that's actually gonna help me get through the game quicker. Seems to have pretty general positive reviews. One thing I don't like about the description of the game is it says it walks through their years. I kind of had an understanding that we were going to be in a school. You know, I thought that was how it's going to be. That's what I would assume if I read the description. I didn't read the description. I just knew this was a walking sim, so I had a look at it, and yeah. But overall, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel anything about this game. It just didn't really get me, even though I think it's great to talk about depression. It's great to talk about mental health. It's great to talk about how those things can affect you. I don't think this narrative is very compelling. I mean, for the first half of it, before we really got into the deep shit of depression, I was really just snarking on the entire thing because it was all just normal high school bullshit, you know? And I was just over it. And I was like, literally, you can get over this with just talking to another person. but that just never seemed to happen. Of course, one of those people was an actual person, it seemed, but it was the same. It's all the same. It just works the same. And yeah, it also didn't have anything interesting to say on depression that I don't think people don't get out of any other piece of media that has to talk about the subject. And even though this is based on someone's life, it's not compelling in any way whatsoever. And I want to talk about the suicide thing for a second. So, lone cabin, gun. I think it was a gun. It was very dark. Gun. Almost seemed like the end of the game. Thankfully, it wasn't. There was a continuing point. I don't like when games have... I don't like when media has suicide without any mention afterwards of said piece of media showcasing a number. A suicide hotline of any sort is so necessary. Like, truly, truly, truly. I watch a show called The Magicians. There was a fake attempted suicide scene. It was like they weren't actually trying to kill themselves, but they were trying to make it look like they were doing. Even in that scenario, they put a suicide hotline just because of that. And I was like, yes, that is necessary. And of course, while I was in it, I was like, yeah, that doesn't need it. But like, I didn't think about it until now. That kind of shit is necessary, especially when you have a game about depression. You need these resources if these are the subjects you're going to talk about. That's not a big mark. It's just something I wanted to point out that I think is a necessary thing for those sorts of ideas. But yeah, this game, this was more an exercise for me to check out a walking sim. This is not really giving me any more appeal for them whatsoever. I do find it if it's an interesting narrative, I think this could be an interesting way to take on a narrative. This is not one of those times, but it can be. And I'm sure there's different elements of like, oh, there's actual things to do. There isn't just a normal set path. Things like that happen, I'm sure. But with a game like this, it's just words in front of you and a path with 2 invisible walls on either side. It really... It's very... It's very unnecessary. I personally didn't find... I don't think games need to be fun. I don't think that. I prefer when games are fun. A lot of people think that, like, of course a game needs to be fun. No, some games don't need to be fun. They can be interesting, compelling, heart-wrenching, and other such. But there has to be something that grabs you. This didn't grab me. I played it because I own it. And I just... And it's very easy to hold up on my controller and just go along. And for the first half, I had a lot of fun just talking shit and talking about high school and how much I hated it. I was fine with that. But overall, it really didn't grab me, and I was kind of done with it. So I'm done with it for now, and I don't have to play it again. Yeah.